1.
That'd suck if it wasn't better. It's so symbolic. I learned and grew.
Who it was?
First, there's an astronomical amount ahead, and now it's just enough.
Shout out to Kelly Craft, ACDC, Keeping the Vibes Right, birthday.
Actually, we haven't shouted that out yet, and I will say this.
Wanna Creek.
This
one of
is
their
juicy.
One of the original
Craft breweries
in
Walnut Creek.
just in general, bro, was Kelly Craft.
Really?
Yeah.
In general?
In general.
That's saying a lot.
I know, Black Diamonds. Black Diamonds was over with.
It's now a Mercedes dealership, right?
No, it was a Harley
Maserati.
dealership, and now it's Maserati.
Mm-hmm.
Black Diamonds, but they went out of business surprisingly.
I know.
Yeah. Anyways.
R.I.P. Black Diamond. Anyways,
Kelly
not
Craft,
R.I.P. to Kelly
Fire,
Craft.
Shaven's out there.
It is
like kinda-
juicy,
It's juicy. It's my thing. It's an IPA. It's
and I feel like we have been rocking on, so the AC/DC spirit lives through us, right?
I really know.
ACDC, I went to their concert years ago.
Well, never been. Listen.
Amazing.
ACDC.
You- Highway to Hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. All right, so we're back with Raina.
Yeah. Finish this up. This is to be
Episode
continued.
4, part dose. Part
Episode
dosey
3.
dose.
Episode 3, part 2.
No, because is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my bad.
We started. Yeah.
3 is my number.
3 is our number.
Oh, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I like that. And this is episode 3. Did you play that?
No.
No. but
Episode 3, part dose, e-dose.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Justin. Still? Oh, you got one more minute. Maybe your birthday no more. We're disrespecting you this next minute. No, never. All right, Raina's back on. So we're wrapping up. We did a round table with the ladies, which will post now.
Notes are over there.
No,
Where did we leave off?
we
We
don't
left
have no.
off, we were talking about
2000.
plant
My plant medicine experience.
medicine.
The first
Well, I was going to finish mine, but we could, let's hear yours. Because then we could go back.
Oh
to where I'm
yeah,
at
I just got introduced to it like in the like, hey, I got this. You want to try this? I did it. I was like hanging out at my friend's house.
What were you going through at the time? Did you just want to party, or did you
I
need
was just
healing?
like 18, and I said, oh, I'm gonna see some shit. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
And so I did it, and then I was just hanging out at my friend's house. They had this wallpaper, and every layer to the wallpaper was moving in a different direction. And I was like in the living room, and I started crying, and I didn't know why I was crying. And they're like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "I don't know," but it didn't like feel bad. It just was letting some shit out or something.
One thing I'd like to cover, since we're covering plant-based medicine, is Raina already covered how she found it, figured it out, got into it. We haven't covered where she's at today. I want to circle back around to that because I'm going to go next and talk about my plant-based experience, and I'm going to finish it off with where I am today. So you talked about earlier the high school years. Can you finish it off with where are you today?
I'll wrap it up.
No, you don't need to wrap it up, so to speak. I want you to expand.
Yeah.
Expand on my first experience was 2000, and shortly later.
And it was what?
A
Yeah.
What was your...
what? Oh, mushrooms.
Yeah.
Magic mushrooms.
Psychedelic.
Psychedelic. Golden
Psilocybin.
Entheogenic
Yeah.
mushrooms.
Oh what?
Entheogenic mushrooms.
Never heard of them.
So an entheogen
You
is
have-
another term for psychedelic.
Oh. It also sounds like God. Theology.
It's not as popular, obviously,
Yeah.
To
and
say that.
therefore you don't get dinged on social media as
Use
much.
that
Like if
term.
you're like magic mushroom, shrooms,
Oh.
then it's like this word is like
Yeah,
you
this
know.
is dude Paul Stamens, and he's a mushroom dude, and he gets cringy off.
Paul Stamens.
Yeah, he got a mushroom hat too. It's like made out of a hard conch of a hard wood thing, and you soak it in water, and it like turns into this like velvety
Oh,
thing,
nothing
and
about
he, like boom, 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 like shapes a hat out of mushroom, and it's water resistant. It's just this whole thing.
Jesus.
He does research, and
It's like a whole different-
he cringes at the fact when people say shroom.
So it's a
Is it-
cap made out of
Bro,
caps?
it's this. Yeah. It
That was
looks like
cheap.
this.
That was cheap.
It looks like this, right? And it's brown.
A baby
like,
arm?
not like this,
Oh,
just the
oh,
fist.
oh,
It looks like a coconut.
We're still on mushrooms, by the way,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay,
It's
alright,
growing.
we're talking
You
about
cut
fish.
it, you soak it in water, it expands,
Uh-huh.
and it becomes this like velvety, water resistant, pliable.
Like one of those
material.
dinos when we were kids that we put in water and it just fucking.
Yeah, similar. But damn, where did I go from this?
Not bad. I just side railed you.
Experience 2000 was my first experience. Then I had experience shortly after that, and then I would say like going into my mid 20s, I had maybe seen or experienced mushrooms in under 20s.
And did you go
Under 20 setting.
LSD, acid, DMT?
I had a couple of LSDs and it was alright. I just really prescribed to the mushroom and like
Natural.
didn't realize it was like healing and therapeutic and helping me process what I was going through and helping, but it did. And it was great. But then like fast forward and like just dealing with anxiety and depression and reading a bunch of articles and MIT and like MAP Society and just like how to treat PTSD in soldiers and mushrooms, psychedelics and John Hopkins, like all these.
You start doing all this research. Getting into the
just
rabbit hole.
hearing it, like, no, it's like coming to me.
Yeah.
It's just like coming to me and saying like this place that's a thing that's respected in the medical community is doing research and found great results. The fact that it's gotten to that level, or it's on Time magazine, and like they had this great one where it was like 10, 20 years ago, it was like Prozac.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next time, I might be butchering this, but it's a magazine, and it's like the future of like depression treatment, and there's a picture of mushrooms on the cover. Prozac, and like 20 years later, mushrooms.
Yeah.
Same magazine.
Big pharma and then
Yeah, just new
plant-based,
shit.
yeah.
Like, new shit.
New
like,
info,
like, it's just, I 100% have been taught so much through microdosing and hero dosing and processing trauma, and that's basically where it went from fun and partying, didn't know I was healing, to 20 experiences to like over 200 now.
Yeah.
And it has changed my life in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
That's me.
And where does that leave you? Mainly mushroom guy?
Yeah.
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 And are we gonna go and is that saying it wrong?
Hell, what's your Judema?
Jurema.
I've heard it pronounced.
Okay, yes, based on what you need a hug from the inside? You like that?
It would be cool.
Well, you don't?
I just
What about ayahuasca?
ayahuasca's been on my radar, and a bunch of other people in the psychedelic community have
I feel
told
like
me
us
that
three needed. I feel like I would want us three to kind of like.
Would
I would
benefit.
love that,
I would
bro. And
benefit.
I'll like go to Brazil and like. You sound a lightweight over it when you were talking.
No,
about
I
it.
for sure want to do it again. Like,
Do you think if you were
I
surrounded
didn't
by
know
like your
what I was
circle?
getting into.
Oh.
Like
Yeah,
I
first-
didn't.
I really
know. My
enjoyed-
sister goes, but she doesn't
First timer over here.
fully like
Oh.
share.
Yeah.
everything, like in detail, you know. And I didn't ask in detail. I was like, yeah, cool.
I got hella in your blog, that piece you put out, by the way.
The
I told
blog,
Justin, I
the-
was like, I fucking was listening to like Raina, and like I like wanted a second piece to come out, and I'm not even pressuring you for it
the
to.
videos.
Okay. This is what I saw, and you
You
can tell me
know
what it
what it
was.
was.
This is what I
What
saw.
were you doing in the room when you were sitting at your?
You were taking
bedtime.
pictures or videoing of your laptop, and you were writing, and you were like you were trying to write about your experience, but you were explaining about the process, and I hella like loved it. I like tuned the fuck in.
So you were reading.
I was reading, but like it was a video. You had some blog of some.
I thought it was your montage. I think he's me, and it was just like.
She was talking about her experience and about how she was trying to type it out, and I remember her laptop being in the shot. It was basically her talking with her laptop in the shot, and you're talking about your ayahuasca experience. I could be way the fuck off.
Well, I did. I had a blog.
Yeah. That was it.
I had a blog.
That was it.
But I don't know if that wasn't.
But I feel
That
he's
was-
mixing
my
up
blog
like
was
a lot of your
before-
shit.
I think I
My
probably
blog
am.
was before
Oh.
before ayahuasca.
I guess the
Blog
cut
was
to the
before that.
chase is I was keeping up with you, and I hadn't seen a follow up, and I was like looking forward to a follow up. Not to put that pressure on you.
Well,
But,
I did on my YouTube channel.
Uh-huh.
I
I think that's what it was.
vlogged.
I think I found your
vlogged
view.
the whole
Yeah.
the whole trip. So there's like 4 or 5 episodes.
So maybe I
out
missed
there.
the follow-up ones
Maybe.
after the first. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah, there's
dig
like
into
4
that.
or 5 episodes.
If
of
our
that
listeners
trip
wanna find you and look
yeah,
into
if you
that,
wanna
do you
find
want
me, what's
your
my
YouTube channel?
My YouTube is Love Raina Dawn.
We'll drop it in the comments. Like, not in the comments, but in the
Yeah.
description. See, they can make it easy.
That's
Like,
next level. We've never done that
Link
before.
in the comments. Love
I think
Raina
we know how
Dawn,
to do that.
YouTube and Bird Instagram.
Okay, hell yeah. And I recommend it because I was like engrossed in it.
B dot.
If you just type in Bird, I think you'll find it.
All right.
But
You know,
it's
Larry Bird.
B.I.RD.
33.
Yeah.
Larry
Bitch, it's
Bird.
Raina Dawn.
Yeah, right on. Holla. Okay, so Justin,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm next. All right, so as y'all know from things I posted and also from talking, is that I had an abusive childhood, and so I was always looking for numbing. I was always looking for self-medication. I was always looking for just something to take me away. And shit, I don't know what grade it was. Let me really think back to this. It probably was junior year of high school. That's when I really started experimenting with everything. And I had done ecstasy, cocaine that year. I'd been smoking weed. And somebody had, I believe it was junior year. I remember my boy, I won't drop any names because he's in law enforcement. My boy and I were like, hey, let's fucking ditch school and this is actually a funny story. My boy and I were like, hey, he's like, hey man, I got fucking mushroom. And I was like, all right, like, what's the dosage? And he's like, bro, you gotta take an 8 each. And I was fucking with it. I was like, that seems like a lot, but
An eighth
all right.
is how much?
3.5 grams.
3.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a pretty nice introduction.
Yeah. And so
I did my first 3.5, and then it was so intense that the second time I did it, I split an 8.
oh, it was intense.
And if that was intense as fuck.
So
Like,
yeah.
like, just it's the variety, whatever, what you ate, age,
Yeah.
experience. Like
Yeah.
both of those times,
Right.
full and half mind blowing. First experience,
And so like like I said, I'm always trying to self-medicate, I was trying to know. So the way that mushrooms were presented to me by my boy is like, hey man, we take these, and he was real truthful with me about everything. He's like, hey, we're about to poison ourselves, and the reaction that you're gonna experience is your body fighting the poison. And I was like, which is kind of a different way of looking at it. It makes it sound negative, but anyways. So
but that's how antibiotics are.
yeah.
It's poisoning yourself to make yourself stronger and feel better. So whatever.
Right. And so my buddy's straight up like, and this is my best high school friend, we played football together. I was like, hey, I got these, I got 2 8s. And he's like, I was like, but, and I was like, don't these work on cow shit? Like, isn't it gonna taste like shit? And he's like, it's all good. My mom just made these homemade 7-layer bars. You know what 7-layer bar? It's like chocolate, peanut butter, coconut. It's just like a healthy granola bar that you can make at home. And he's like, dude, my mom just came out with a fresh batch of 7-layer bars. He's like, I feel like that's the perfect. It's like, I'm like, this is gonna taste like shit. And he's like, I got something that ain't gonna make it taste like shit. My mom's 7-layer bars, which were hella fire, by the way. Shout out to, you know who you are, no name drop. Anyways, 7-layer bars are dope. And so he's like, we'll eat the mushrooms with the 7-layer bars.
Yeah.
So we go to his house, but then his dad's a cop. And he's like, we gotta come here to take them. And he said, you gotta drive my dad worked in the city. And so it was an early day on a school day. My dad was gone for probably till 7, we lived in the East Bay.
Yeah.
And so we knew we had time to take these. So he's like, we gotta drive to my house after cutting school and his dad's a cop.
Yeah.
Drive to my house, get the 7-layer bars, take these at my house, and then you gotta smash home before they kick in. But it's Clayton, Clayton's small.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like, okay, this is
Clayton
all,
is in.
I'm tracking.
Alright.
And so I'm like, all right, cool. So we go there, mission successful. Get the 7-layer bars, eat them. Go back to my dad's house, and my dad's, gone all day. So, but we had already did school, and we had football practice that evening. Yes, this is part of the story. So we take the mushroom. We already took him at his house, and so me and him are sitting on the couch, and I just remember getting hella visuals. We had a ceiling fan, right? You know about ceiling fans. I'm sure you guys know. Bro, it was like the ceiling fan was going, but it was shooting out rainbow beams of light. Like you could see it in the peripheral. It was just like blue, green, yellow, purple, blue, green, yellow, purple.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. So me and this four were just outside having the most shroomiest conversation ever.
Yeah.
And little did we know, my sisters didn't feel great that day, so they stayed home from school. We didn't know that they were tucked inside their bedrooms. We thought we were just ditching school and we were just at home, and it was just had like this whole big private house to ourselves. My sisters come out after about 2 hours and they're like, and keep in mind, we did not know my sisters didn't feel well and didn't go to school. They come out and they're like, are you guys on fucking drugs? As a matter of fact, what fucking drugs are you guys on? Because they just heard me and a homie streaming for like 2 hours on a couch. Our first experience ever. And it was an 8 each.
Yeah.
Bro, we was deep, dog.
Yeah.
And like, didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And like, bro, that's when I was like, kind of felt like, I was like, I feel like these could be healing. Like, you talk things out, you feel different things. It brings down your inhibitions.
Yeah.
And so it was presented to me as like a number, as like a party thing.
Yeah.
And then I quickly realized, I was like, I think this is much more. But yeah, dude, I had a fully psychedelic experience. I saw little Aztec warriors running on the carpet. I saw the carpet moving. I saw paintings in my. We were playing at the time Sega 2K. You know, the football game was a thing. So we were playing in the kitchen when they kicked in, and I remember all of a sudden the game was off the screen. Like the wide receivers were running off the screen, and I like looked at my boy, and it kicked in at the same time. We looked at each other and were like, it's time to turn the game off. So we turned it off, and we just fucking tripped out. And then once he's like, fuck this shit, we realized my sisters were like, fuck this shit. Let's go into the backyard. And it was like a big Clayton house. And so then we had all these juniper bushes with like the dew coming off of them. And I just called it Shroomsville. It was like they were like creeping to, I don't know. It was just like I had this huge like we had a half an acre when I lived in Clayton.
Oh wow.
So we had just like all this nature, and it was just so dope. And I was like, fuck, like I like want to keep doing this. Like I loved it from jump.
Straight up.
But I was like, damn, this shit's weird and crazy and weird. And like that was just my biggest thing, just like all these colors, all these crazy little moving things, and like I don't know, but I felt healed after. Anyways, I'm gonna finish up this story with, we did have football practice.
Yeah.
We couldn't not go. I started and he started.
And?
We can't just not go because we decided to ditch school and do drugs. We went to football practice and was still shrooming, dog. We had to straight bump heads with fools while we were shrooming.
How'd that go?
What was that like?
Fucking crazy.
Was it fun?
Well, because you don't want to harm anybody when you're on shrooms, and here I have to have a head-on collision with somebody.
You like hugging?
I'm sure our coaches were just like, damn, like me and him were like defensive stars, and I'm sure that day they're like, they're not laying hat at all. Like, what the fuck, bro? It was just fucked up, bro, to have to like have a head-on collision with somebody when you've been shrooming for 5-6 hours, bro. It was fucked up. That was the fucked up part of it.
But
I'll never do football or contact sport on shrooms ever again. That's the no. But then I realized like it's just medicinal. It's great. I loved every other part of it. It was awesome, except for my sisters being home in football practice, and outside of that, it was cool. That was my first experience. To segue to where I've been, so since then I've done mushrooms, LSD, acid. Acid can get a little dark for me.
dark.
Yeah, and I had a shaman recommend. And some people might think in me saying this, oh, well, this is just some druggy talk. But I had an actual shaman tell me that you can do acid. It can be very therapeutic, but take a little bit of Molly with it. So, because at the end, when it can get a little dark and, you know, kind of down, the Molly picks it back up. So it's like a better transition. So, yeah, so I guess that's getting cross-faded at this point.
Molly, you mean DNA?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. So then I transitioned into that, but then I don't really like getting crossfade. I like it being more natural and organic. So and then LSD I liked, but kind of got the same sort of feeling because LSD and acid are very
I've
similar.
only done like LSD 4 times. Or I've done shrooms hundreds of times.
Yeah. And
it's a stimulant versus organic.
Right.
One's synthetic and one's from Mother Earth.
Right, exactly.
But they do the same shit in the brain.
Yes.
More or less.
Yes.
All
And so I do enjoy an acid, but I prefer to micro on that. And then the only other thing I want to touch on is DMT, the spirit molecule. Can we all touch on that?
Silicon Valley be microdosing acid. And it says that fucking it makes them more like focused and like creative and like coding and shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like a tenth of a dose of acid.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Oh,
it's
damn.
in pieces.
Oh, damn.
Real microdosing.
Oh, damn.
But
So I want to finish off with DMT, the spirit molecule. So my buddy had researched it and had said that, what is it, your pituitary gland?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have this molecule that's in your pituitary gland. Now, when they say when you die, at least if it's not sudden, like if you get
when
beheaded.
you're born, no. I'll explain.
Okay.
So you don't butcher it.
Yeah.
When you're born, your brain hits you with a fat dose of DMT.
Yeah.
When you die, your brain hits you with a fat dose of DMT.
Right.
That is the beginning and the ending of life in your brain.
Yes.
So technically, we all are holding drugs.
Yes. Yeah.
Within our own brain.
And do you know that it's not like what you light on fire and smoke, like the drug? You know that it's not actually the drug. All it does is it creates a chemical reaction in your body that releases the DMT. So DMT itself,
MDMA,
yeah,
it doesn't get you high. It tells your brain to let go of all your serotonin at once.
right.
It's like a laxative for your brain.
Wow.
Like, here you go. You can have all the shit that you've been holding on to for all your happy moments at once.
Yeah.
But you don't pay.
And that's sort of like DMT. That's what I want to touch on. So DMT is basically like if you was to take like basically the 5 peak minutes of a shroom or acid trip. If you just take the 5 most intense
if you
moments.
take 5 or 6 hours and put it into 5 minutes, is what I would.
Okay, all right. No, you're right about that.
You're speaking synthetic DMT, right? Is that what we're talking
I've done
about?
both.
Like where it's created like in a
How would you do it
lab
otherwise?
or from plants?
Yeah, from plants.
Oh, so the diet.
Well, it comes from a root, and I don't know the actual.
So DIO-MT, like it's a THC.
It's a long.
It's about 30 fucking letters.
It's a chemical compound.
Yeah.
That's that's produced in a crystal form.
Right.
But it is naturally occurring within the brain, born and dead, also within the
Yes.
ayahuasca root.
Yes.
That is what is allowed
You're right.
from that experience.
Yeah, and the ayahuasca root's one of the sources.
Yeah.
And like it often resembles orange yellowish powder, or it looks like plastic shavings, orange shavings, and it smells like plastic too.
Yeah.
It smells like an electrical fire,
Yeah.
which is the most unpleasant part of it.
Yeah.
Anyhow, to go back to what I was saying, so we're finishing off with where we're at today.
Yeah.
So aside from today and being and microdosing, probably a good week ago I did a dose of DMT. So like you said, I think it's the 5 most intense. Yeah, it's like a whole trip in 5 minutes, but it's crazy. Like how Raina and I were talking about how she's like, I saw colors that I can't even describe. So basically, DMT, the way that I do it is I get a small bowl of cannabis and I sprinkle it on top because the cannabis acts as like a filter, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you curb half the bowl. So you know when you're sharing a bowl with a homie, I don't know, at least we used to do this.
Greens.
Yeah, greens, half greens, you half greens, me half greens.
Yeah.
So that's what you do with DMT. You smoke half, and then you inhale it keep it in for as long as possible, 10 to 15 seconds. You exhale. Then you hit the next dose, same thing, and it's when you're holding it in the second time is when it fucking kicks in. And like, it is good to have a spirit guide with you, because you have to put down the pipe and the lighter, because you kind of just like,
Disappear.
bro, you just there, and then all of a sudden, it's hard to explain. It's like every little thing of everything opens up into different dimensions. You could sit there and stare at this your whole trip, and you're gonna see every peanut and every M&M and every almond open up into a different dimension. You could stare at those petals, and everything will be and it's just like beautiful colors, lights, shapes.
Sales. Sacred geometry.
Yeah. So basically,
God's code.
Right.
Bro. It's just,
how you were saying, like when you die, your brain's flooded with that. So basically, the way that I've researched it and I've heard, it is the most intense high of anything you'll ever experience, and that is your moment of death. And what I've heard, and where the drawback is from doing DMT, is you borrow from that. So when you die, you have all this from your pituitary gland that floods your brain, it floods your system, and you have like the most amazing euphoric high you've ever had is the second you're dying.
Yeah.
But when you do DMT, unfortunately, you're borrowing from that. So your moment of death isn't gonna be as
euphoric.
Yeah.
As somebody who had never tapped into that reserve.
But
Right,
it's
would
like,
you
would you
die?
rather die and not experience that earlier, or would you rather die and get the full dose of it?
But they say there's brain activity in your brain for 7 minutes after you die.
So you're sitting there experiencing it, but then you can't tell anybody about it. You can't
No,
really
but
like network
that's
of
how
Yeah,
you
who's
transition.
to know? Who's to tell us?
Sure.
They say, allegedly.
Yeah.
It's so hard. When
So
people
that's
are
where
out
I'm
there-
at with now with my. I have not done ayahuasca. That's on the list. Or the other one.
I've been told that ayahuasca by a number of people within my circle in the psychedelic community would be quite beneficial for my story.
And I think it will be for me too.
And I have heard,
I lightly think Raina should be our spirit guide.
that'd be cool. I've heard her experience.
By spirit guide, you mean?
Like getting us to the country and to the community, and
A
not like guiding
chaperone.
us through it, but
Chaperone. No,
yeah,
no, no,
like
but-
like you've been there before, like
no, like he's a
Not our spirit
chaperone,
guy.
our chaperone to the field trip. Like,
Can I give that?
no, you
That's
can do
okay.
it. Do it.
Yeah, yeah.
You got a key, bro?
No, I gave it back to you. Is it over there?
Alright,
On the
yeah.
thing.
Alright,
I'll be back.
Paul's gonna go to the bathroom. Me and
Yeah.
Raina are gonna keep it lit. And Paul,
It's just all these energy drinks, man.
bro.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Say less, fam.
Yeah,
Say
I'll be
less.
back. I'll be back. You guys can touch on those.
Yeah, it's been good. And shout out to Raina and her ayahuasca experience. It's on my to-do list, but it is scary. I'm intimidated by it. That's all.
Mm-hmm. As I think you should be, or like you know,
I respect it,
right? I was gonna say.
like a street bike.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you think it is something fun, it'll show you it's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are some things I wanted to touch on?
Whatever. I'm over here picking through all the goods. I don't like this. I don't like that color
Oh, he's
M&M.
quick.
He peed already.
Unless he didn't get in.
Damn. He's a pro. He pissed already?
Wash my hands and everything.
Damn. Damn, bro.
I'm a speed kisser.
You guys love that these doors slam.
Oh yeah.
You love that?
Yeah.
No. Sure, the
neighbors
neighbors
do.
too. Good thing I ain't working tomorrow. My sister left.
Did she?
Whatever. Anyway,
So,
I
what are
lost
you gonna do? It's late.
It is.
It
but
is, yeah.
It is late.
It's
Yeah.
tomorrow. If that
Yeah,
late.
it's no longer your birthday.
But
Birthday month.
thanks for hanging in there
Yeah.
with us. And I don't
So
know.
my thing with like if I could instill one thing from plant teachers, plant medicines, fungi teachers, fungi medicine, all that. Like I would love for people to connect with the sacredness
Yeah.
of it,
Yeah.
Respect it more.
respect it.
It's
yeah.
not a party thing.
It's not a party thing.
Yeah.
Like that's where it's gonna get its bad name from.
And you're gonna dilute things that they
Yeah.
have.
And
Yeah.
like real like
Come on.
people have been working with these for
Centuries.
the entire life of humankind.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
Stone Age.
Yeah.
You
Because
know about Stone Age? Stone Age theory? We used to live in trees. We came down. We went looking for it. We were foraging. There was actual mushrooms growing out of shit. They ate them, expanded their consciousness,
And then
and
just, like,
opened up.
And then we
a
became
whole-
human.
grew and grew
Yeah.
and evolved and
Yeah. They didn't know, but it was a huge thing. For you to like take them and go to like music festivals and do this and whatever, sure you're having a good time, but you're not using it like how you should be using it.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Fun is
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
but that's just
And like there, I'm sure like Burning Man, for instance, and probably a very popular place for this to be done. And I would think that at Burning Man there is a lot of people that do know the sacredness of this and do
Higher
respect it
collective
in that way.
conscious.
They're not doing it as a drug. They're
Right.
doing it to connect with their soul fans
Right.
on a different level.
Yeah.
So I get that, but I just really want people to realize that it's a sacred tradition.
Right.
It's like highly revered by these indigenous communities.
Yes. It should be respected as
whether
such.
you're
mushrooms were here before us.
mushrooms
Were here
are the
before us.
oldest
There was like
fucking thing.
there was
Yeah.
evolution, and then they went I'm gonna go this way, and then plants, not a plant, not an animal. So it just was like this.
Yeah.
It's not a plant, it's not an animal, it's somewhere in between. There's literally so much information in them.
There is.
It's data, it's gigabytes, it's terabytes. Answers.
It is.
Answers.
And
It's like straight teacher. It just showed me things that I didn't want to see.
Yeah.
And it has healed parts of me that I didn't think were healable.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll say this, and I want to like piggyback off of what Raina said. Like, we by no means consider ourselves shamans. I think that's that's a term given to people by people. Like, we do not consider ourselves that. Maybe spirit guides, but I will say this: like, definitely do your own research before you ingest or have an experience. And we are here. That's part of the reason we even have this podcast in the first place. We are not experts, we are not doctors, but we can share our own experiences. And if any of our viewers, you guys, have any questions, there's Raina to reach out to. She'll be tagged all over our episodes, Justin and I as well. So like, you can reach out to us. Raina, is that cool?
I would say that the fact that Santa Cruz, Oakland, Colorado, like these places
Decriminalizing it.
decriminalize
Yeah.
it is a step in the right direction.
It
Because
is.
It shouldn't be a
It's a
crime.
plant. It's a plant. Just like cannabis shouldn't have been. It's a plant.
Yeah, but that's all.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going in the right direction.
Right.
And it's all that it matters, you know?
Speaking of the decriminalized, there's a great group of people called Decriminalize Nature, and they are like spearheading this movement to
Yeah.
decriminalize entheogens,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually.
Can we remember that?
I know, I like that
Without her around, can we remember that?
Right.
Entheologians?
Entheogens,
Entheogens, okay.
and they're doing it all over, like outside of California. And when I got the honor of having a presentation meeting with them on Zoom in a course that I took, and yeah, they're out there, they're doing it. There's a lot of people doing a lot of stuff for the psychedelic
For
community.
sure, for sure.
Hey,
And it's
if
amazing.
if it's helped people and it's helped multiple people, that should be a testimony in itself.
Yeah.
And another point that I want to add to this
Yes.
is like, this is a living organism that comes from the earth.
Yeah.
So as it gets popularized, it's going to be brought into these therapy sessions in these fluorescent light buildings, and it's going to be in this setting where like we need to go to Mama Earth
Right.
for this.
Take
Like,
off our
don't-
shoes.
Yeah.
Like this is
GMO version versus natural version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like we want to connect it out there. So
Right.
I just finished my course of facilitator
I
training.
look into that.
And I highly recommend these. They're amazing.
Clubhouse.
That's what it's called?
Cosmic
No.
Gatekeepers was
On-
the course.
on Clubhouse.
Shout out.
Okay.
It was a 12-week course, and I'm not at the point where I'm like, oh, I got this certificate, or that there's no certificate for this. It's just like I put in the time to spend X amount of hours, X
To
amount of
educate
days
yourself.
to educate myself further on this
Right.
matter,
Yeah.
and
Do
That's
some
so
research.
great. That's so dope.
Some
yes,
research.
and now I need to. I've never journeyed deep myself with mushrooms. Mushrooms came into my life with Justin
Yeah.
and my little mushroom.
Oh yeah. That
Well,
was
arts and crafts. Yeah.
And I have been almost too scared to go super deep.
Like
or
overdose?
I've never.
No,
He
yeah.
knows what I've.
She's been like 2 grams.
Oh, the micro,
Never.
the standard micro. That's what
No,
I got Joni.
full gram.
I got Joni on.
That's
Well, that's
like-
not a standard
it's like
micro.
10,
That's a
20.
macro.
Point two.
That's a macro, yeah.
0.1, 0.2. Those are the micro.
It's funny what my
Point.
version is.
Point. Anyway.
Right.
But-
And
Yeah.
so I
Yeah,
welcome
2 is
people.
a
Once I'm ready, I'm not ready to like sit for somebody. I need to do this for myself
Yeah.
first. I need to journey with myself and
We should have
explore
ceremonies
these
with each other.
for sure.
Practice, you know?
100%.
Yeah.
I would like to go deep and you not be as deep and just kind of facilitate just for myself, like you did in June. of
Yeah,
last year.
exactly. Like I imagine when I'm facilitating and sitting for somebody, I won't be going super
Yeah.
deep. Like
No.
it'll be like just very little, just to
Yeah.
open me up so that I
Yeah.
can feel what's going on
Yeah.
with the person or the people.
Mm-hmm.
And
But wasn't that crazy though? Was it June 2021 or 22? 2020. June of 2020.
April or May.
No, that was June.
I have taken
It
it.
was June.
Which one?
Not the
Oh.
house. Me and a puddle.
Right.
My hero does.
Right.
Was June 2020.
I really enjoy like holding space.
Yeah.
And
it
like
was solid.
being that I feel like I'm pretty grounded and like
Yeah.
I just
Motherly.
enjoy that. Yeah.
Mother Earthly.
Nurturer.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
it's
Caretaker.
the vibe.
Yeah.
And another
Say
thing
you
that
did
that I'm doing is being a Satya facilitator.
Satya.
That is the new title
What
that
is
I'm-
that?
that I'm adding to my
Wait. Say it again.
Satya.
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 Like,
Satya.
I gotta know about this.
So Satya is
not sachet.
no, not sachet.
What is
Okay.
sashay?
Satya.
A dance?
I don't know. It's like a sachet.
Maybe.
You know that?
I feel like that's from like America's Next Top Model or something.
Yeah, yeah, saucy. Yeah.
Sachet also feels like a dance move,
Yeah,
like in like
yeah, I feel
ballet or something.
I
Or
feel like RuPaul, Sass.
I feel like it's RuPaul. Like sashay,
well, the word is Satya,
Satya.
Yeah, we just took this way out
and
of bounds.
it means truthful communication. So it's like when somebody's like, hey, can we Satya? It's like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell the
can we
truth.
like I'm
In the hood, they
getting
say
vulnerable.
to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But
TBH.
are they being honest?
You know that because I've been in corporate sales and I've worked in the tech industry, and we used to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to have these sales mentors come in, and that's like a millennial thing. To be honest, and they're like, we've been listening in on a bunch of your calls, and this is a phrase we hear most often, and they're like, you should never use that phrase because it's basically telling somebody, hey, I'm going to be honest with you right now because normally I lie.
Yeah.
Normally I'm dishonest. So,
Yeah.
hey, to be honest right now.
Right.
So, yeah. So
That's
that's
what
not.
my hang up was. Is like, wow. So right now you're being honest.
Yeah, so I try not to. I kind of only say that when I'm emphasizing shit with friends and when I'm like trying to be funny on social media. But when I'm like
To
having
keep
a.
it that wow.
To keep it that wow, pow
To be
wow.
honest.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I don't like saying that when I'm having a serious conversation with somebody. You shouldn't. I got mentored to say like, don't ever say to be honest, because then it's like, oh man, you gonna be honest with me? Have you been bullshitting me this whole fucking? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Satya just kind of it creates a container of like, this is safe. We're gonna talk heart to heart. We're gonna open it up. I
So
know
space.
that you're coming to me and you're speaking what's on your heart.
Mhm.
I'm here to receive it, hear it in a non-judgmental,
So did you get specific training on that?
No.
We
No.
Satya. We have one.
My
time
sister
she-
You
taught me
Satya
that.
more than once with her?
Nah, we sat down and said this is a Satya.
Like that, like specific.
Like
Oh.
check it out.
It's like
I'm about to tell you some
defining-
shit. Like, I'm gonna tell you some shit that's here, how I'm feeling.
Mm.
Can you hold space while I be around
Oh,
you?
that's
to be
tight.
honest.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I enjoy, like I could be the antagonist. We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
I could see the different points of views.
Uh,
So working with or going through an experience of a fellow friend, and
what?
10%. 10%.
Okay, we're good.
All right.
we'll make it. We're
Yeah.
almost done.
Yeah.
Okay. So going through an experience with a fellow friend who's had recent drama
Uh-huh.
in their lives.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Excuse you or something.
Sorry.
I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna offer myself to you. If you'd like, I can facilitate a Satya for you. I could be there with you and the person that you're having troubles with, and help this.
Oh, I
Almost
think
like a
I might know
therapy
the
session.
situation we're referring to.
Almost like a therapy session.
Yeah.
But I'm not a therapist.
Right.
I'm a human being that knows how to hold space.
Right.
And
Right.
Isn't it crazy though? You
Easy
gotta like
communication.
go hell into debt and go to college to be a therapist
yeah, I
to
think
help
it's
people.
bullshit. All these,
To help people.
Titles.
yeah, I
To
think
help
it's
people.
bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't
You
need
should
that.
be able to charge to help people whenever. You should.
Or you should
I'm
just
not
be
here
able
to
to help
help
them.
that, like, that affordable mental,
Yeah.
Like, listen to you.
yeah, like, talk to me. If you want to
Soundboard.
talk to me.
Soundboard.
And you know what? I'm not officially a Satya specialist, I guess. What would you call it? But I'm gonna say,
Facilitator.
I'm gonna say this to our audience. My door's always open. I've been through fucking everything in my life. My door's always open, just like Raina's. Like, if anybody needs to message me, I'm gonna talk some things out. I'll hold space. We can talk about whatever. I think Justin's right there too, right? Maybe
Yeah,
not.
man. Check it
I'm
out.
over here
No,
volunteering you
no,
to
no,
have
no,
hold space
check
for
it out.
everybody.
Look, I was going through some dark shit,
Yeah.
and I was just posting whatever my soul was saying to Facebook, and I had 3 people reach out to me like, "Are you okay?" 3 people out of hundreds of people literally picked up on the difference in my personality. That's huge.
Like, oh, his energy is inconsistent with his post before. What is going on?
For
sort of.
example, I'm posting some shit like "smile because it happened," not don't cry because it ended, smile because it happened. Dr. Seuss. Just little shit like this, you know. Just
Yeah.
and somebody was just like, "Hey, you all right? Your shit don't seem you."
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
3 people out of hundreds. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
for
like,
sure.
so yeah, if you're struggling, I know what it's like to struggle, and you can hit me up.
Yeah,
You
me
can.
too.
You can.
Yeah.
I've had like probably 2 people hit me up in my social media career, whatever that may
I
be.
get it a lot, and I'm happy I get it.
That's good.
I've talked some people
Safe
off the
space.
ledge.
Safe space. Yeah.
People would hit me up like, bro, I'm in a dark hole. Like, I don't even want to go through it with life anymore. I'm like, bro, let's start breathing. Let's start, So, anyways, I'm here. I'm only bringing this up because Raina brought holding space for people. I just want to say, like, part of the dose is like, yeah, we're on here. We're dosed out. We're giving you a dose and we're interviewing our friends. But I also want to say that, like, I'm here for the community. I'm here for mental wellness. I'm here for you. So if you have any thing you need to talk about, I'm here to hold space, and I'm sure Justin is too. He just said it.
Yeah, connect. Reach out. If they got a 1-800 number that you can't remember when you're suicidal, you can fucking hit me on Instagram or Facebook, no problem.
Yeah, same.
Ditto.
Same, ditto, hell yeah. And that brings
I
us
mean,
kind
fucking Logic put out a song with the fucking number in it, and I don't even remember it. I'm just saying.
yeah. And that kind of is a good segue to, I think, the last thing that we wanted to hit on. We only got 10% more battery life. Raina's probably got to get home. And you and me have to get to another episode.
The delirious late night Dave Attell
Oh my God.
version of the dose. Delirious dose. The
Yeah.
DD?
Yeah. And on that, I forgot what I was even going to fucking say. That's the truth.
It is what it is. Be about it or without it.
No, but like I think I want to wrap this up with like happy birthday, Justin. We were able to get a few episodes in today,
39
tonight.
years of life. I'll say this. When I was in middle school, for whatever reason, I didn't see myself living past 24. And I verbalized this to my
Yeah.
friends' parents and stuff. Like, looking up to Tupac or whatever and getting shot. I'm like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
never my life. I'm growing up in the hood. Like, there's
Yeah.
no point in like, bro. So I was like, I got like 10 more years of life left. And now here I am, 39.
And you want to live the
I
rest of
do,
your life.
I do,
Yeah.
I do. I enjoy
Yeah.
living and I struggle. Head trauma, like football players, boxers, they all struggle with like this weird depression. It's just,
Yeah.
it's your computer, it's getting beat up. It's not
You
good.
damage it's brain damage.
It's brain damage.
Yeah. And abuse can damage your brain too. So
Yeah, but
it can't be.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to heal, I'm trying to grow. I'm happy about like all of my endeavors and just going for it. And thank you guys for coming out and spending the time, and it's been great. And yeah.
And Raina's now sat with us through part 1 of this episode, a round table, and part 2 of this episode. So we want to thank Raina.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Raina's good people.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
If I'm
She'll be
invited.
back. Follow-up episode.
Oh yeah.
We got lots of things that this circle right here is going to
Man,
do.
if you got a story to tell, if you enjoy us,
Oh,
hit us up.
this is what I was
We
going to
can
say.
hang out.
This is what I was going to say. we all want to talk about how we're here for the mental health community and this world in general. So I think that was a good segue, kind of all of us saying, hey, you know, our door's open, you can chat with us, you can talk to us. And there's a lot more that these three folks, these three talking heads of this table are going to accomplish together. And it's 12:42, which I don't even know if that number has no significance to me, but we're about to be out. We have a lot to offer. We have a lot to create. We are passionate about a lot. Our doors are open. You guys can talk to us about
Man,
whatever.
if you watch this to the end, use a real one.
Yeah,
Like,
For
that's
sure.
all I gotta say.
for sure. And we appreciate it. And thanks, Raina. And
Man,
thanks, Justin.
if you like it, smash that like button. If you like it,
Yeah.
subscribe. If you like it, comment where you thought it was funny.
Show us love. And
If you didn't like
Share
it,
a clip.
Yeah, share a clip. Share a clip.
Yeah.
And I want to say this, like, we're obviously new at this. We decided to do a bunch of episodes today. That's Justin's birthday wish, but like, we love all the commentary and we love the critiques and we love all the love. So like, if you got love, show us love. However, and that love,
Share
will
it.
be, yeah, share it.
share it with the
Yeah.
world. That's to refer someone is the biggest compliment. So
Right.
put it out there for us. Help us touch your network. It's not about it's not about what you know. It's about who you know.
Episode
3.
3. I
Alright.
think that's a wrap.
Yeah.
And scene.
What is it?
That's what I was trying to do.